Hi guys, so a lot of you have asked me about running. Have I got any tips for running? Should I do running? Should I be running? How do I run? Running is great. Cardio, yes. Vitamin D, yes. Time to yourself, yes. So running is great. We're going to do some running. However, we've got a few top tips, important things to think about. Number one, dead easy, warm up. What do I mean by warm up? So we need to get your heart rate up, but we also need to activate certain muscles, loosen certain muscles off. Luckily, Coach Simmons already done a great video of that in the group. I would, however, get my heart rate up a little bit before I did that. So for me, seriously? So for me, I might run half a mile, jog half a mile real slow and easy, and then do my stretches and my quad stretches, etc, etc. Or we can do some like the kind of stuff we do at home in the workouts, and then do those routines. Get warm first, just get the blood pumping, then do some mobility, some activation, and then run. Now I've got to fly, got a police a minute ago, now I've got to fly. Right, first major point is run, don't shuffle, okay? So what do I mean by shuffle? Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, or a version of that, that's maybe a bit faster. That's straight legs, and the floor, I'm exaggerating here, the floor is stopping me doing anything. And I'm jamming all my weight and my force into my knee, and the floor is stopping it. And that's not cool. And when it's just bustling about, yeah, it's not running. It gets us faster than walking, gets us faster than walking, but it's not running. So, how do we run as opposed to shuffle? We lift our knees up, okay? We lift our knees, and it lands forward. Yeah, there's no wedging of the leg. Cameraman really stacked in there, but it recovered really well. There's no wedging of the leg against the floor. It's lifting the knee, falling into it, and then pulling up the knee behind it. Pulling up the knee behind it, your body knows how to do that because it stops you falling over. We just lift it up here, yeah? What we're going to do with all these tips is we're going to do them for 30 seconds when we're running, and then do a 30-second stretch. Do that 5 times. So think about lifting my knees for 30 seconds, run normal for 30 seconds. Do that 5 times, that's 5 minutes and you're good to go. So, warm up, do your drills from Simeon, then practice lifting your knees, 5 minutes. Right, next thing coming up. Okay guys, the next thing we want to talk about is more steps per minute. So, there's research out there that elite marathon runners, elite 5K runners run at this tempo, and that's how many steps you should do. No, that's not how many steps you should do, because guess what? We're not elite 5K runners. We're not Mo Farah. However, pretty certain I can say if you ran a few more steps per minute, it'd be more efficient, run a bit faster, and take less effort, and it's going to be better on your joints. So, more steps per minute. If I'm here, this isn't how I run by the way, come to here. Does that make sense? More steps per minute, that's all we want. You don't have to make longer steps, you don't have to do anything, just have more steps per minute. That's all I want you to think about. Again, think about that for 30 seconds, run as you were for 30 seconds. Think about that for 30 seconds, run as you were for 30 seconds. Yeah? Easy, right? More steps per minute. Cool. Next tip I want to talk about, so a little break there just in case. Next tip I want to talk about is getting the most from your running, getting the best from your running. So, think about this the other day. Let's say I'm going to squat 50 kilos, I might be able to squat it 20, 25 times. If I'm going to squat 100 kilos, I might be able to squat it 3 times. Yeah, so I'm doing a different amount of intensity for the volume of work I'm doing. So, if I know that once I've done my warm-up, once I've done my drills, I've got about 15 minutes to run, then I need to be home and I need to give the kids breakfast, I should probably run pretty fast, yeah? If I know that actually I've got a whole hour to play around with, I'm going to run slower. I wasn't going to run further, yeah? But I'm going to run slower. So I'm going to dial back the pace, yeah? So instead of going at 70 miles an hour, I'll get around as fast as I can, boom, get home. Take it back down to maybe 50, 60, then run for the whole hour. Does that make sense? These are completely arbitrary numbers I'm throwing out there. But basically, the speed I run at for an hour is definitely slower than the speed I run at for 15 minutes, yeah? Which is why, obviously, the world record for 5K is 15 minutes and the world record for a marathon is 2 hours. They're not that similar, are they? Anyway, does that make sense? If I'm going to run for 12 hours, I'm going to run even slower than that. So, don't go out and run for 20 minutes at your 2-hour pace. It's going to be a bit of a waste. Cool? The last thing we'll talk about is intervals. So, you could argue that any type of cardio training, serious cardio training, involves intervals. You're running at a certain pace. You're running at the 5K pace, you're running at the marathon pace, you're running at the 100-meter pace. You have a rest, and then you do it again. So, the important thing is, well, however long your interval is, you should feel tired at the end of it. Not completely spent, but like pretty tired, like I want to stop now, and that's cool. Stop, have a rest. You may well think, oh God, that's it, I'm done. Give it a minute, maybe give it a whole second minute, and you'll feel fine, and you can go again. So, if you're just starting out to running, I don't want any sprints. Yeah, you're gonna pull something, you're not conditioned for sprinting. If you are conditioned for sprinting, fine, do whatever you want to do. However, if you're new to running, let's say we're at Basmick. Yeah, there's about 2-3 football pitches worth. Run a little bit fast, all the way to the end, yeah? So I'd rather you ran for that whole minute than did a 10-second burst. Doesn't matter what you read in Men's Health, doesn't matter what you say on the internet. I'd rather you ran hard for a minute. It's actually much harder than running hard for 10 seconds. So, you get to the end, you'll be absolutely knackered, have a breather, walk all the way back, then do it again, and you'll feel fresh. That's interval training, yeah? Certain amount of work to a certain amount of rest, yeah? If we do 20-10s on the bike, that's just to be horrible, yeah? You could run for a minute, you could have 2 minutes rest. That'd be a good ratio of intervals. So, intervals, run faster than usual, have plenty of rest, do it again. Remember, if you feel screwed at the end of your interval, that's fine, you're supposed to. You'll recover a lot faster than you actually think. That's that.